All right, we're live, back for round 2 for this Saturday. Was supposed to have these guys on a little while back. Things came up, so I had to go take care of that. People were sick and so on and so forth. But got StreamYard to stop being, bitchy and whatever and fix the connection. Got to work. So Feed After Midnight is able to grace the podcast all the way from Canada, Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to talk about all there is to know with Feed After Midnight, cover as much of the music as we can. Go off topic if we decide to. I don't know. Talk about our favorite kind of donut. I don't know. Or I think there's a coffee shop down in your parts that's really popular. I can't remember the name of that I went to when I visited Canada a couple of times a long time ago. And but anyways, glad that you guys are here. How you doing?
Awesome. Doing awesome. Yeah. Good. It's great to be here.
Well, like I said, happy you are here and we're available. I know that we scheduled for today around 2, and I kind of cut it close to that, but like I said, technical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess let's go ahead and dive right into what the story behind Feed After Midnight is, whether or not it's a reference to Gremlins, which I hope it is. And I'll let whoever wants to take it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of funny because the first part of the story doesn't really include me because I didn't come along until 2020.
That's why
right.
But like these three here, so Mark and Denis are cousins, and they're all high school friends.
Okay.
So there's been like various like iterations of bands that these guys have kind of like played in. Okay. So then I guess it's 2018, right?
Yeah.
You guys with 2 other members would be like what, Dom and Dylan?
Yeah.
Okay. So the band was formed in 2018 with these 3, and then like a guy named Dom, who's our friend, who was the drummer, and a friend of ours named Dylan that played bass. And then in 2020, Dom had decided that he didn't have time to do the music thing, so he ended up dropping out. And these guys put an ad on, I think it was Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook, that they're looking for a drummer. And so I just answered it, and I came and I did an audition, and like it was just like instant, like they'd just been waiting for me to come along. It's like we meshed really good, right? So and so then from that point forward, it's been mostly like us as the core, and then we've had like bass players kind of come and go. Like like Dylan played with us until, when did Dylan quit?
Maybe 2020, 22.
22?
Yeah.
22. Yeah, because the EP, he was on the EP, right? Yeah. So Dylan ended up leaving the band in 2022, and then we kind of went without anybody for a while, and we had a really good friend of ours named Brad Lake that filled in bass for us for like live shows. Yeah, and then we ended up getting Shane. Yeah. So then we had an ad out, and then we got this guy named Shane who came along, and he was like pretty wicked. And I don't know, he played with us for
like 3 months,
or something like that. And then he just ghosted us. He just disappeared. We have no idea what happened. I actually hope the guy's okay. I just.
Going back to the band name.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry. Jump in.
Yeah, we had a show scheduled, but we didn't have a band name yet, and we kind of went through like some books I have in our jam space, and we found like a Gremlins book, and on it says like "Don't feed them after midnight." So play with the words a bit and change it to like "Feed after midnight" because you want the evil, like the gremlin, not the little cutie gizmo, So it's a Gremlins kind of reference.
Well, good. That makes me happy because that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Nice. Now we grow up on it, right?
Yeah.
So
Are you good, buddy?
Yeah, get the gizmo.
Yeah. See, like
Yeah,
My original Gizmo since I'm a kid.
I'm jealous of that.
Every show he's there, man.
Yeah, never missed one.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I love it. Not to venture off topic already. Well, it's on topic, but what do you guys think about that Gremlins sequel that's coming out?
They're actually
Yeah.
making it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be.
Who knows? Who
Yeah, we'll
knows?
see. I guess,
Yeah, we'll see.
It depends where they go with it.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't suck because it's been a long time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big risk sometimes when they try to like remake stuff because
Mhm.
it's not really like necessarily about the quality of
Yeah.
the video that made it like
Oh,
it's
Like they did
the
okay with
production of it
Ghostbusters.
at that time is appropriate, and like doing it with more detail and more CGI and stuff doesn't necessarily make it better, right? Like
Bring back conventional.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. And then steering it back to the focus of Feed After Midnight, I'm going to go back to the beginning from what I could understand as far as the songs go. Surprise, I'm Still Living. I want to hear the story behind that because that's one of my favorite songs that I've heard from you guys. And I want to hear how it came together and how proud of it you are, or if you hate it. Whichever.
oh, that's really interesting. So you guys got to talk about it because I like don't have anything to do.
That was just
It
like
was created in his
like-
garage in probably what,
Like 2016 or 15,
in
and
a one take,
Yeah.
just improvised thing that came out of nowhere that we recorded, and then when we listened to it, we're like, it's a song. We tweaked it, and that
like
was
let's just say we don't play it live.
and it was written by a different singer at the time.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
playing
He
drums.
was the
and-
drummer.
yeah, you're the drummer
Yeah,
on
he
it.
played the drums on
He's
the
original
recording.
drummer. Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we put it on Spotify because like at first we didn't have much material to so we just put it there for like to fill out like a catalog.
Content, Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't played it live in like 4 years, or we don't even jam it anymore.
It's in a different tuning of everything else we play.
Right.
But who knows? One day
Well,
maybe play live again.
Yeah. Well, hey, you could always go back and rework it with your current guy on the vocals and just make it better.
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
I did the vocals as
Yeah,
well.
he's-
Like I did the drums and the vocals
He sings
Oh,
on it.
Why did it
It's the other
sound
guy that
different
wrote
to
it.
me?
because that was like I've
His
never
first
actually
singing.
sang anything in my life before that, and I was just like a one take
They-
thing.
they-
It's like our old singer didn't really want to do it, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to your house and I'm gonna do it."
So that explains why it sounded kind of different to me versus the songs you're singing on now versus that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like we sort of feel like we really found our sound as a band with the EP. So 2022 is like really where we've gotten to a place where we think that we've got like a few different like styles or like formulas that we use for the songs that are really like our style.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
I agree. I was gonna say that when I'm listening to your band, I hear kind of traces of like early to mid Kill Switch Engage, more so when Howard was in the band. Because when you're singing, honestly, you remind me of Howard at certain points with certain things your voice does. So props to you. And I think there's a little bit of some old school metal in your sound. Maybe some. I don't know. Everybody wants to throw a Metallica, but maybe they're an influence with you. And just bands like that. So your sound is definitely varied. From what I've listened to, it's not like the same kind of formula for each song. Each song has its own stamp or identity, and you guys have some really killer choruses, if I might add. They're big. They stay in your head after you hear them. And
that was the goal.
That was the whole idea.
Yeah, so job well done with that. I especially like the stuff on the Hunger EP. That's some really good shit right there.
Yeah,
Sweet.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah. praise is deserved when praise is earned. You know, I guess I'd like to say, with that. So, yeah,
well,
props.
and to add to that, we have a really great producer by the name of Joe Lyko. He's got a company called Dark Moon Productions, and like he's done basically all of our songs except for one. Oh, actually two, because Surprise is like DIY.
Yeah.
And Sweet Embrace was done by another friend of ours, Cameron Dunn. But Joe is like the primary dude that produces our stuff, and he's just like he's a wicked guitarist. He's got this a couple bands that he plays in locally. It's like a tech death band called A Scar for the Wicked.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll have to check them out.
Also, like a groove metal or like melodic metal band called Sovereign Council that he plays guitar in as well. That they're one of our like friends that we play with sometimes. So
I gotta check both of those bands out because tech death is right up my alley. Not all the time, but you know I like a good chunk of it, so I'll definitely check that out.
yeah.
But let's dig into like some songwriting process for your current lineup, like how that goes with you guys, how songs tend to start, whether it's on an acoustic or maybe if one of you knows how to play the piano, if it starts on a piano, or whether it's lyrics first or vocals or music and then vocals and lyrics. How's that go?
You're in it
I think it's all over the place, really. Like
mostly
it's like riffs and
mostly it's like
riffs.
Yeah.
And,
like the three of us, me, Mark, and Denis, like do a lot of like jamming, just like improv kind of stuff, right? And that's usually the core of where the ideas kind of come from.
Find a good riff.
Yeah, like and we record all those sessions too. So
good.
All
the time. Like there's not one that's
usually we find something we like and then we just stick to it and like work on that and then
what's gonna go
add parts and then eventually like the vocals come in like mostly after.
At the end. There's only one song that I did vocals first, and that was Sweet Embrace. It's just something that I wrote, and I had the melody, and they just like created the music around it. So it was a different experience, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely like that you guys get in a room and kind of write in a sense of the word, or get together and jam, and like you were saying, you hear something that sounds cool, so you want to build on that idea. Because this day and age, a lot of bands do the file sharing route, where because either they're busy with their life outside of the band, and so getting together to jam doesn't always pan out, or they live in different states or different parts of the world, and so it's a lot of file sharing. And nothing wrong with that, not even one bit. But I definitely prefer when I hear bands say that they're in a room together and ideas like take life from there. I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
the only way
we
I know
live like a half hour from jamming, for all of us. So it's like easy to just come here and do it.
Yeah, I love that.
All feed off each other.
Yeah. So do all of you write lyrics? Like, can all of you write, or is it kind of like set to, just
it's mostly the vocalist.
95% of it, and there's stuff
I help sometimes.
Helps,
There's kind of like sometimes it comes out of like a spontaneous like thing that we'll be like jamming and like they're like we'll stop or whatever, and it'll be like there's something missing right here, and then somebody will just say something, right, like a word or whatever, and then that becomes like it, right? There's no real.
Oh, I like that too. I mean, there's no real wrong way to go about who does what in a band, because you're a band, you're a collective. So, so how long did it take you guys to write the Hunger EP? Because it sounds like everything came together really fluently when I listened to the EP. Things flow really well. And just it's really tight playing. The production, the guy you said you have do it does a fantastic job.
Yes,
so is it just like is it like a really easy process for you guys for how things come together?
No, like that one took I would say like to put them all together like close to 3 years maybe.
Wow.
Because like Red Dead was done.
Oh, Don was playing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
In 2019.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, a few of the songs were written, but like parts of it, but we couldn't really like jam often. So,
Right.
so it took a while to get them together. So yeah, I would say like 2.5 years, 3 years.
Stuff, and then he sent it to us, and then we're like, okay, yeah, this sounds pretty fucking cool.
Then when we finally got together on a regular basis, then stuff started like
just moving again.
clicking, and then
Like Book of the Fallen, we had that like at the beginning of like 20.
I'd say the end of 2020, I had it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had the verse and the chorus, I think.
Yeah.
Just False Awakening kind of came pretty quick, that one.
Yeah.
Well, that in Shadows too was just like a last minute thing to throw on like
like an intro.
And then they had this little guitar thing that they were doing,
You
just
need a heavy song.
fucking around. You
Yeah.
know? And then I was like, yo, it sounds really cool. You guys should do like that and have like little drums and have an intro that's like fucking.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn down my kid's tablet. He's kind of got it up loud.
Oh, I know that stuff.
I'll just leave it alone. But no, that's awesome. What's your proudest song you guys wrote for that EP? Like, what one that you played live? I guess I should phrase it that way. Gets like the most reaction from the crowd from that EP. Like, what's the crowd favorite?
I think False is the only one we play kind of live on a regular basis. The other ones we don't really
do. Ascending.
Oh yeah, I forgot Ascending. Yeah, forgot about that one. Yeah.
Ascending's like a ton of fun to play. We play live False Awakening and Ascending the Flames like regularly. That's part of like a normal set.
Well, those are my two favorites from it, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they're a lot of fun to play too. Like, they got a lot of energy and some different kind of stuff going on that makes it interesting to listen to. It's not, like really.
Yeah, I agree. It's great stuff. That's really loud, buddy. Is that loud on your guys' end when it's playing? Can you hear it at all?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's not too distracting, I guess I'll leave it alone. So the most recent song that I could see that you guys have out is Doomed, right?
Yes.
That was the last one. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Tell me about that one, because that's a really sick written song. Like, what was the process like for that one?
Good question.
You had some stuff that you had written.
Yeah, I kind of like
Easy Drummer, right?
Yeah, I kind of did like the intro up to the chorus, kind of like just written it by myself. I do that like once in a while, just try to write stuff, and then I'll bring it to the jam, and then we try it out. Sometimes it doesn't work, and that one worked, and then we just build from there at a jam.
Yeah, that had some programmed drums that I took some like inspiration from. You kind of had defined like the feel of some of the parts that I copied, right? Yeah, and then it's just jamming, like I said, like we have a piece of something that we can like play pretty consistently, and then you just kind of like do that over and over and over again, and just see if you have like happy mistakes happen that like lead you into the next.
Yeah, because like I rather have songs that we all work together than one person bringing everything. Like, it's less I don't like that. I rather have everybody have their own like input on what to put on.
Yeah, I like that. I agree.
We're all craftsmen,
Yeah. And then collectively, what kind of reception have you guys been getting, across the board with the music that you have out, for people that discover your music, or maybe people that come out to a show that don't know who Feet After Midnight is? What's the reception like for the songs overall?
Well, I would say it's pretty good.
For sure. I've had a few people. So me and Mark mostly manage like all the social media stuff, right? So when I say me, I mean like our pages, right? But there's been like quite a few like individuals that have like reached out versus direct message, just to say, hey, I just discovered your band, and like this is really fucking cool, and like wanted to say like
and a lot of times it's like people from across the world. It's not just like
absolutely. So we have had that. we got a little bit of like mainstream exposure when we first released Out of Time back in 2020. We were playing on rotation on the local radio station.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So we actually had we said we had 4 songs played on that station. Or?
No, three,
and then one in Edmonton, right? On
on their rock station there.
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of like exposure that way, because like we're always looking to try to like obviously promote our stuff in any way we can, but it's really hard. Like, as you know, in the media, multimedia kind of industry on the internet, there's a lot of like scams and stuff. Too, right?
Yeah.
So we've really tried to be very careful not to get involved in like
you should be careful. Yeah.
Bots. We don't want to be on fake playlists, right? So like
all that
it's
like when you have to when you see like $20 for reaching, I don't know, 2,000 people. A lot of those are they're fake. They're bots. Like. You get the listens, but like you never gain any
actual like fans.
No,
that's important, right?
I mean, I've come across some of that myself. I actually had, I won't name the individual or who they're associated or claim to be associated with, but I was supposed to do something for this person for who a band they were a part of, and I did some digging because things weren't adding up. And so I'm like, okay. And so ultimately, I just kind of let that fizzle out because, what the person wasn't being truthful with me. And I don't want to associate and put myself out there with something that my name's on.
Yeah.
If it wasn't from somebody that's even, established in that group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've seen that with we've seen that with like local bands where like they'll have, I don't know, 80,000 streams, but they can't bring 2 people to the shows. So I kind of,
that's right.
You see like put 2 and 2 together and you kind of see like they paid for those.
Yeah, for sure.
To be on those playlists, which doesn't,
I don't think
it's not worth it. And then you could get kicked off Spotify for doing that too. And like,
exactly.
You don't want that.
Right. Yeah.
No. So you really got to be careful this day and age, especially because you never know if someone's who they say they are and what their intentions actually are.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
You just got to be careful.
It's actually quite comical because, like, mixed into those DMs of actual genuine fans that are reaching out, there's also the people that are pushing these like playlists, or they want to get you in a magazine. Like, I've been like messaged like several times about getting into like a hip hop magazine or something like that. And you're just like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, have you even listened to our music?
It's like an urban hip hop magazine, and it's like, we don't fit your like.
Yeah, that's right. You know that it's like. At first, like, you don't really like realize it, but then it happens like a few times, and like it's kind of funny because you get to the point where like after like the second interaction with the person, like text message wise, that it's a scam just by the way that they're like pitching the right.
I was there just no more than about maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Had a lady reach out to me on my page, say that she could help me grow my reach and my follower and like numbers. And I just straight out the gate, I said, I have no qualms with my growth that I've done myself. And I thank you, but no thanks. And I also don't trust you. And so I blocked her and just went on my way.
Yeah.
We get all that all the time, like emails and shit.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
it's like they might get the fool somebody every now and then, but it doesn't. It's not easy to spot the inconsistency.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to that. Like, reputation is everything, right? So you're really checking in on other people's reputations. So like, there's like a few places that like we submit like new stuff to. So like whether it be like just audio or like some of the videos that we make, and we've kind of like vetted those places.
Yeah, because you get results like
spending the money then because we know that it's actually like legit.
Yeah.
Right. And so you just kind of you got to build it. It's like it's networking really, like but you just got to be smart because there's so much garbage out there, right? That it's easy to get fooled with you know.
Well, that's good that you guys are guarded like that and care about your name and your image and because nobody wants to be taken advantage of, so that's good that it you're keeping your guys' noses clean, so to speak. So let's talk about some of the live music when you guys play live. What is a Feed After Midnight show like, and what do you guys do to prepare for it? And how does it typically go over?
Typically, there's like a few promoters that we work with on the regular. So like a typical show, I guess, is like what, like 4 or 5 bands.
Yeah,
Right. We usually like if we're around like more like, I don't want to sound pretentious when I say this, but there's like less experienced or like junior kind of like bands,
Right.
There's kind of like an order of like who's going to play like first and
Oh, yeah.
second, third, and then, so we like to try to be like second to last if we can. If there's like a bill of 4 bands, we'd like to be second to last, or a bill of 5 bands, we'd like to be third or something like that, right? Typically, yeah. So.
Yeah, typically it's like 30-minute sets, sometimes longer. Like we've had some that was like
45.
Well, we put on our own shows.
Yeah, those ones would get bigger.
We've done
sets.
that twice now, right?
Yeah,
twice. We put on our own show. Like we acted as the promoter, and we gathered all the other bands and brought them and like did all the renting of the venues, the sound guy and the lights, all that stuff. And then like I think we played like an hour. The first time that we did it, and then. This last one, the Feed the Hyena.
Yeah, it was around an hour or a little over.
Yeah, about an hour.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned like Kill Switch, because actually one of our favorite covers to play is The End of Heartache.
I need to find if I can see footage of that, because I need to hear you built that out, because I know you can do it.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's a crowd favorite for sure.
Yeah.
I think we have like a clip on one of our social media.
Oh, probably, yeah. If you search, like we've got
I'll have to
Instagram.
find that.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yeah, it'll be from like last summer.
And YouTube.
Last summer at Panda Fest. That's where there's a clip.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, maybe
where
we
the
need to
crowd
post something.
singing the part thereafter, like the.
Maybe we'll post something in and we'll tag them in it.
Okay.
You can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. What's been your most memorable show so far that you played?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. What do you think? Like,
they're all pretty fun shows to play. Like,
they are. These guys. I wasn't in the band at the time. They opened for Buck Cherry.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty like I would think that'd be memorable for
But-
you guys. Like
Yeah, like it was a cool setup, like a huge stage and stuff. But I mean, we were just starting out, so we didn't really have like original stuff yet too much. It was mostly covers, and
feet of clearance at the front of the stage, and then
we weren't ready for it really.
that was really
So that was
tight.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Singing
literally,
like
this is how we played the entire set.
Yeah.
Like it depends. Like last year's Panda Fest was pretty good. And
Power Glove. We opened for Power Glove.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the last show that we played, right?
Yeah.
The
Before
before
that, yeah, that was in October, right? Yeah, October. We opened for Power Glove, and that was like
That's
was-
good.
That was pretty cool. Those guys are like
For me, the
really
indie
good.
show where I look down and I just see the crowd going. Any show that's happening,
Yeah, that's true.
that's a
Yeah,
great
show.
fucking show.
Yeah, good energy from the
That's all
crowd.
I ask. It just feeds.
Yeah. Man, it'll be great if you guys get to a point where you can tour like internationally, like come to the States. I'm in Oregon, so you'd have to go through Washington and then get to Oregon, or however way you do that. I would like to witness that in person. I hope that that'll be something that can be possible at some point.
Yeah.
Because, you guys seem like really cool, down to earth dudes that are fun to hang out with. So I'd love to do that.
Well, you know what? I think like that's it. Is that we just have a lot of fun doing this. There's really not any ego involved in it. We just want to do like our art and hang out, and like it's just it is a lot of fun to go have shows, right? When we hang out with people, and that's
fun just
a
to
big
have
part,
like,
right?
yeah.
We definitely like
fans or other bands, like we all like, socialize.
That's how I view it. I view it like a community, like when Sean reached out to me about an interview on the podcast. I don't know if it was going through his head, like, oh, is he going to say yes? Is he going to say no? Just FYI, I've maybe turned down one band. And the only reason why is because there wasn't anything really that they could that I could listen to for one, and it just wasn't. It didn't seem like anything that would benefit them, or in a way benefit me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wish you the best. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. But maybe down the road, come back and we'll try this again when there's actually something there, because there wasn't anything that I could anchor to, I guess I would say.
That's right. That's right.
I hated to say no because I don't say no to anybody. I was like, oh, you want to come on? Cool, go ahead. Oh, you're a pop band that kind of blends in metal here and there. Yeah, sure, come on. Whatever. But no, I really loved the name when Sean reached out. I'm like, Feet After Midnight. And like I said, the first thing I thought was Gremlins, and I think I asked Sean, is this a Gremlins thing? And I believe he said, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, and then I think we got along the talk of like, if we get on the topic of like sci-fi or horror films or whatever, or something like that, we would talk forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, like a lot of the basis for like inspiration to songs is like sci-fi horror stuff, like really like 90s.
Is that why Swift Aggression kind of reminds me of Terminator when I watch the video?
Absolutely, it's that's exactly
that type of apocalyptic.
And Doomed is kind of like it's like He-Man.
Yeah.
Originally, when we were writing the song, we had a temporary name for it. We called it Motu, so it's Masters of the Universe, right? So yeah. And then
I kind of like that name better, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, like the thing is, we try to just not be like cliche. We try to avoid that kind of stuff because it's like it's too easy to do that, and it's like we really enjoy the process of the art that we create, like whether it's like making music videos or it's like songwriting. Or just like creating like album cover art, like there's a lot of enjoyment in the process of kind of going back and forth and like working with stuff, and we really don't take ourselves very seriously, right? So it kind of like that's our flow is like just laugh and like see what comes out, and it's like Rick Rubin. I shared that quote with you guys last week. I love Rick Rubin. He's an awesome dude, solid dude. He had a quote that like he was talking about like with the music, when you're creating something, you can't force it. You just kind of like you work at it, and then the work reveals to you what it wants to be, right? And that's the process, right? With all of those
adding to what you just said there, it's very noticeable when something is forced or phoned in to the listener. Not everybody could hear it or pick it out, especially, I don't want to sound like a dick when I say this, but I'm probably going to get flack for this if somebody sees this part. And it's subjective, but.
You just need a trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Your everyday music listener that listens to like popular music, so like your top 40 hits, like, your Billie Eilish. Not that she isn't talented. I think she's got a great voice and everything, but stuff like that. The people that listen to that music, they don't listen to it thinking about whether it's an honest song where it came from an honest, genuine place. Yeah. They're only concerned about if it sounds cool and can they dance to it, and how many other people are also listening to this because they want to be trendy.
That's right. So, that's right. And like you said, like so, like there definitely are lots of people that have a great deal of talent with singing. For sure. It's not knocking them,
right?
But the mainstream pop industry is totally the machine. It's bought. It's based on money. I saw an interview, and I can't remember. I was trying to think of what the guy's name was that I saw. But he was basically talking about how, like, he's a promoter in our record guy, and he was like, to make a song top 40, it's $1 amount. He's like, you give me any song and the correct dollar amount, and I can put that song on the top 40. And it really is true. I mean, it's like, it's not knocking the artists because they're trying to follow what they think is their dream, right? And they're getting satisfaction out of like the performance and stuff, but they're kind of being used, also. But that's okay, right? Because if it's consensual, they kind of know what's going on, right? So not knocking them and saying that. I mean, like there's lots of pop music that I enjoy, right?
Yeah, same
myself, right? But
yeah.
It's not my like most like constant genre that I listen to,
yeah.
right? Like,
no, I get it.
There's a certain honesty in metal, like you know, I find that like the nicest people, the most genuine, authentic,
exactly
are doing metal. So
you want to know a really good example with that? Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, absolutely.
The nicest guys on the planet. But for some reason, he scares the daylights out of people that don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
He collects teddy bears and plushies for sick children. How do you not love that?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good example.
Yeah. But getting back to you guys, though, I want to hear about what's in the pipeline for you guys. Shows, music videos, another EP, or just more singles for the time being? What's in the works?
Well, we got a few things. So we've got a show coming up on April 12th at the Dominion Tavern, which is like downtown in what they call the Byward Market. So it's like the
venues.
Yeah, it's like a nightclub kind of district in Ottawa. So we've got a show there. We're playing. It's Pandemonium, right? That's with Brad. Yeah. So our friend Brad Lake, that we mentioned, that filled in bass for us in the past. He's got a promotions company that we do lots of shows for. And who's that? That's Lilith. And I don't. Chaos.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to like hurt. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by like leaving them out or whatever. But anyway, so we got
first time we played with all three.
That show. So that'll be the first live show that we've done like this year. Just because we've been actually working on 3 new songs.
Nice.
So we just kind of like when we shift into like writing mode, we like to just like focus like primarily on that. So like not accepting any shows.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Because time is really limited. Like, unfortunately, like it would be really great if we like if the band was the primary focus of all of our lives, because we would get so much done. But like, we're all adults that obviously like work jobs and own houses and have kids and like yourself, right? That so we can get, you know, at least a regular weekly practice in, you know, where we can get like, you know, like a 3 or 4 hour session done, and like, you know, we get stuff done, but it happens at a pace that's like definitely a lot slower than if we could do this like, you know, 3 days a week or 4 days a week. Right. So
good things come in time.
We'd be hoping to record it like sometime, like, I don't know, in a few months.
In the spring, early summer, or something like that.
Yeah, go in the studio, do it, and then I'm not sure if we're going to release them alone or...
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But actually, that leads us into the next thing. So we're currently trying to generate funds for these upcoming recording sessions. So we have all kinds of T-shirts. This is the Swift Aggression T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I recognize that.
At that one. And you don't have any other ones?
No.
Where's the box of merch?
Sorry.
It's on the other side.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we so like I don't know. You can see on our Facebook, right? We made a post.
And we have like our website.
That's true too. Yeah.
feedaftermidnight.com, and then you can see like everything Feed After Midnight on that site.
Yeah, we got a few different styles of shirts. We're kind of like limited with sizes right now, like because we're just kind of like we're trying to get through this stuff that we've got, so that we can get the money kind of put into recordings. Yeah, we just trying to keep it like that. So like obviously the show will help a little bit. We'll definitely be able to sell some tickets. We usually have a pretty good turnout.
That's good.
But we try to like we're very limited to like Ottawa really. Like we're trying to get outside, but I don't know. We just haven't seemed to be able to like really crack that yet. There's
you'll get there
for sure. We're working at it. I think it's definitely about like your like networking. So
and I was gonna say so when we do record them, hopefully we'll have a video for each song, and then just release them like each few months or something.
Yeah.
And for videos, like we kind of do them ourselves. Like
we totally do them.
We
ourselves.
Don't go outside. We just.
I love DIY music videos, so that's good in my book.
Yeah. So Mark is the dude that figured out how to use Unreal Engine to create the Swift video. So that's Mark is the brainchild of those like really technical.
Yeah, it took like 4 months to do that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not the filming part of us playing, but like all the
animation.
I think we did
the story and all that. The story, the
filming was like 2 days, right? We did filmed one day on my birthday, and then we did.
Yeah, it was like a 2-day thing.
With the green screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for all that. And once I get this uploaded to YouTube, or in the process of uploading it to YouTube, I'll find that link to your website to link the merch with and put it in the description for the video and share it around. And hopefully we'll get some traction behind it and people coming there and, hopefully buying a shirt or something. So hopefully I can help there.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So happy to do that. That'd be no problem. But yeah, I'm excited for that, guys. And then while I'm at it, if you guys want any kind of like promo done up for like songs that are coming out, I do reviews and I don't charge anything for them. I just do them because I enjoy doing them and helping out and just getting my thoughts out there and getting people paying attention to what I'm listening to and what I think deserves the attention, and all that. So if you guys want to do that and you get a song finished up enough, you can always send it to me and I could listen to it and then write something up, and you could drop that review when the song comes out or however you want to do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely reach out. Yeah. It's like I said, it is about like actual networking with people that like, they have the reputation that like, you want to be associated with, right? For sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then what else do you guys have that you could say about Feed After Midnight that hasn't been covered already?
I don't know.
Well, here's one. If you guys eat something after midnight or whatever, does something happen with you?
It may be indigestion.
I think we've only ever played once past midnight.
Yeah, that's right. We're old.
Yeah. Here's something I like to ask, and I've been asking it as far back as I think maybe 2 or 3 interviews ago. In your guys' own opinion, what do you think the music industry needs right now most, or just music in general? Like off the top of your head.
Honestly, I'm really interested in Web3 technology. So like crypto and smart contracts and all that kind of stuff. And I think that decentralization of like the music industry, especially like digital streaming and stuff, would be beneficial to individual artists. Like, even if it was like something like turning your song into an NFT, just having the smart contract that's associated with that, like sharing, it's not possible for it to be free. People have to contribute something to it, and then it's also guaranteed that because it's your smart contract that like you're the one that's receiving the funds. There's really not like any middleman besides like like a network fee on like whatever crypto you're using, right? But I think that's like the thing, because there's a lot of like top-down control, centralized control, like we were talking about like earlier about like payola, right? And the fact that like just a dollar amount to get things popular, and that really actually isn't super reflective of how people are. Like a lot of like stuff on the internet is like false perceptions, or it's like they're created to appear a certain way. It's like like even with like news or whatever, right? That they want to portray a certain like story, right? So they can really like push people around that way with that centralization. And I think that like probably that decentralization is the thing that needs to happen to most of the areas of our lives to really like improve it and like empower us more to be like more in control of like what right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that the viewer or remark to that question yet so far. That's a really interesting one. You make some good points there.
Yeah. So there's a book that I'm really like interested in that I'm reading right now. It's called The Network State. I can't remember who the author is, but it's a free like audiobook that you just like go to like Network State, and it talks like a lot about those kind of ideas, like having like countries based on or communities based on like online philosophies, right, of people, and then having a like specific like currency that you could use, right, and then building from there into like a realistic like purchasing lands, like moving forward and stuff. It's very interesting. It's just like theories that are
Well, that's pretty interesting. I'll have to look into that and see what I, look in more and see what I could think about that. Because again, I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
But what about you, Ivan? What do you think?
I think we just need a little bit more exposure. Like, you need to, like, all the big bands are already on top.
Yeah.
But, like, all the little bands like us, like, there's a lot of great fucking bands, and we'll just never see the light of day.
Because they don't want to let.
But you know what I mean? Like, we're here and ready for stuff. You know, like
industry gatekeeping.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I preach about this so much with family, with friends, about why they need to shift their attention from the popular music and look at the little guys.
Because like, come to our shows, it's going to cost you $20, not $400.
Exactly.
Come on.
And I'm a firm believer in bands like you. You're creating music that's like 10 to 15 times better than a lot of what's popular because you're not concerned about being competitive or sounding like those big names. You're just making music because you love it, you have a passion for it, and it's what you want to do. And if something big comes of it, cool. But if not, cool, you're going to keep doing what you're doing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what about you, Denny?
Pretty much same as Ivan, and maybe even like more venues to give more opportunities to local acts and stuff.
That's a good one.
More venues for live bands, they're closing.
Yeah, like in this town, there's barely places to play
like
bands like us. It's very limited.
Yeah, that's true.
Urbanization, right?
Or they open like some new venues, but it's like
electric dance bar
for like somewhat established bands more than like stuff like us,
Oh, and we get curfews when we play live, but these bars don't. I don't get it. Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
What do you, Mark? What do you think? What needs to happen?
What needs to happen?
Yeah. Improve situations.
I don't know. I feel like it's like the legacy bands. They just like want to hold on to
the throne.
Yeah.
Throne and not letting new stuff come up. And like because like I understand their point of view because like they don't make money off albums anymore, so they have to tour to get the money that they would just get sitting on their asses, like collecting
getting
royalties and stuff.
Physical sales.
So it's like the same bands are on top for like 40 years, and like it wasn't like that before. You'd always get a new batch coming in,
generation,
and now it's always like I have a 16-year-old kid, and he likes the stuff I liked when I was that age. Like, it's like because he's not exposed too much to like the newer stuff because it's just the old guys don't want to let go their, the throne.
I mean, they may not want to admit it, but it's true.
Yeah.
But
you're right. It comes down to an individual's choice. Because like you're not going to force anybody to stop listening to Metallica. I mean, or buying concert tickets. But like you're right. Like by kind of like I don't know. You just got to increase the value of like what we're doing needs to be like equalized with.
Yeah, the perception that only popular music is good music. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true at all.
At this stage of the game, I think that a lot of like people that would be fans of ours are mostly musicians themselves, because I think that's really how like the underground music scene really works. It's like everybody's got bands of their own, and because we all play together and we kind of have like similar influences and stuff, like that's what makes it all up, right? And then it's like I don't know. I'm not sure how you break out of that when you start to like attract people that are like not in the local scene as musicians. That's kind of the next.
Because they all go to the concert, so there's a shitload. There's a concert in Ottawa, and there's going to be like let's say 15,000-20,000. Well, they're all fucking metalheads,
Right.
so why the fuck are you coming to our shows?
Yeah, that's
then?
right.
You know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's not that they don't,
So
they don't
maybe,
exist.
maybe,
It's just they
maybe
don't-
like it's like it goes down to like with these bigger acts. It'd be really cool if they started getting local bands to open.
Exactly.
More,
Yes.
You know, do less like gatekeeping, like that way, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Get away from being afraid to take on a local band on the bill, fearing because it stems down to if they did that, they worry about if they're going to lose ticket sales. If, say, for example, let's say it's Breaking Benjamin, right? And they're going to the Moda Center here in Portland or in Portland, Oregon or something. That's a big venue down where I'm at, where I'm, close to anyway. And let's say a local band there, they're called Veyo. They're really good. They're fans of like 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, or Godsmack, or whatever, Breaking Benjamin would love them. But since the promoters and the venues worry about losing out on ticket sales, they're going to put other acts on with Breaking Benjamin, like 3 Days Grace, Disturbed, Filter, or Chevelle. I love Chevelle. They're one of my favorite groups. But the point is, they want those bigger names on the bill with the biggest name, because that's going to bring them the most ticket sales in their mind. So they're not going to give that little local band a shot because they don't want to lose out on that money they would gain otherwise.
Yeah,
that's probably what that is.
Even though it would probably sell out anyways.
Yeah, a lot of times they would sell, like if the band's big enough, they would sell out anyways, no matter who's opening for them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But also, like in the same regard, there is a responsibility to the bands themselves to provide quality and like you were talking about earlier, right? Like projecting like an image that's like unified of your brand and like having like a quality appearance, right? Because that's a lot of like people do judge the book by the cover, unfortunately, right? So like that's So it's our responsibility to make sure that like stuff doesn't look like cringy, I guess, or whatever, right? But there are also, it would be nice if there was like some like openings into sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see that point come at some point. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year or 5 years from now, but hopefully we'll start seeing it happen where these small bands get on opening for like Slayer or Breaking Benjamin or Creed or whatever. Hopefully we'll see that, because I think it would do a lot of good for the climate of live music in general. I think it would boost sales in the long run. But that being said, though, before we start wrapping up, is there anything else you guys want to say about Feed After Midnight that you haven't covered? Maybe a fun fact or something like that.
We'll definitely mention again our website, feedaftermidnight.com. That's kind of the central hub of everything that's like fam.
Sales rep, guys.
Yeah. So links to our YouTube music videos, and if you like our stuff, also go check out our videos, like it, subscribe. That helps us too, for sure. Get reach. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So you just look up Feed After Midnight.
And all like the streaming, Spotify,
Apple,
all that
Deezer,
shit.
Google Play, all that stuff. We use DistroKid, so that it's like you can find it like all over the place. There's even like streaming services I never even heard of, Tidal and like other stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're on.
So
I've had people message and be
like,
I just discovered you on like such and such, and I'm like, is that
you just
Google? I gotta look it up and like
just Google our name and everything's there also.
So look us up on those platforms. Like us, follow us, check out our stuff.
Some new songs coming soon.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Really had fun bringing you on. I'm glad it worked out today. I'm glad I was able to troubleshoot whatever issue I was having on StreamYard, and you guys still being available so close to the time that we were initially going to start today. This is going to be up on my YouTube or my the Facebook page. As soon as I hit end stream, it's there. But I will preface that or add a disclaimer and say that Facebook has started deleting videos is recent. I think is about a couple of weeks old or up to a month old. If it's older than that, they delete it for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube some point today. So it'll be on there indefinitely to be shared around if it leaves my Facebook page. And yeah, like I said, whenever a new song gets finished, if you want to send it my way, I'll review it, post something up for you guys, and you can post it on your website.
Sure. Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'll get the link to the website on the YouTube description for this interview once it's up as well. Okay. And yeah, thanks for coming on. Looking forward to the new tunes. I think you guys are going to have a bright future. And yeah, you kick ass.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No problem, guys. I love Canada. I don't care what people say about Canadians.
That's political. Guys are good people.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
Oh, it's forbidden. Anyways, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Get to more writing or whatever you're going to do for your weekend, and we'll be in touch. It's been a good one.
Awesome.
All right, man.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Cheers.
Ciao.